Morning everybody and welcome to the Chris Pritchard Cycling News Show. Alright, first up, before we get into the news, I don't get to do this very often anymore because everybody out there is so bloody kind and they send nice messages or very informative messages. So when I get a couple of iffy messages, you better know we're reading them out. Now I don't know if this is a razz at me or it's actually a compliment, but Mario says simply, "What a Chad." Now to me, the word Chad sounds like it is a bit of a diss, a bit of an insult, but let me know in the comments down below. Mario, were you complimenting me on my great successful race or were you calling me a bit of a dick? Here's another one from Barguil. No. Wow, done with this channel. Should stick with what you know. Virtual bike comparisons. This is in response to my my Zwift trainer difficulty video that I made at the start of the year. So clearly, well, Barguil, what kind of a name's that? He's obviously never been bothered about the channel if he's only just coming across that video now, so how can he be done with it if he were never into it in the first place? Not bad. And this comment here, this is from BR. He says, "Chris, you're a nice guy." Starts off really nice. "But you're not Matt Stevens." Who's Matt Stevens? Matt Stevens. Really? Wow, he looks like a barrel ass, that guy. Anyway, you're not Matt Stevens. Comedy is not for you, mate, or the GCM boys. Stick to a fact-based cycling show. You will do much better, trust me. Yeah. Why wouldn't I trust an anonymous person with 2 letters as his name? 0 profile on YouTube. But yeah, certainly mate, I'll trust you. So today, nothing but facts coming from the Chris Pritchard Cycling News Show. And if it's boring, you can thank BR. Alright, first up is my YouTube recommendation of the day. Danny MacAskill has dropped a video. In fact, he dropped it a few days ago and I should have done this a few days ago. What a cracking video. Danny MacAskill rides the new Santa Cruz e-bike. Now for anybody that thinks e-bikes are heavy, unresponsive, and not capable of doing the things that you see Danny MacAskill do on a normal mountain bike, check this video out. It's insane.
What about trying to jump over a seal pup?
Next up, an esports news. Now, as I mentioned in last week's show, the Tour of Watopia is starting this week. I'm going to be live streaming it soon, but the Pro-Am Invitational got underway on Sunday night with a women's race on the ever riveting Watopia flat route. 2 laps of 12 miles. I think the build up to the race actually lasted longer than the race itself. And the most entertaining part for me was reading the live chat as bots just took over the live chat and infiltrated it with various requests for sex, which was nice if you're into that, but it makes me wonder, are Zwift paying for views on YouTube? I don't know. Anyway, unsurprisingly, the race came down to a sprint. Mary Wilkinson of Canyon ZCC ended up winning it. Yet you can see that it looked like she crossed the line first, and that was confirmed later in the results. You just never know with Zwift whether they're gonna get it right or not. But yes, she did. She actually crossed the line first and was given the win, which is great. The majority of teams and riders in the Tour of Watopia Pro-Am race are obviously amateur riders. However, we did see 3 ladies from the Canyon SRAM race team taking part in it, and now they either just refuse to race properly because they've got some big events in the real world coming up, or they simply don't know how to ride and race on Zwift, or they were just there to take the money. I don't know, but none of them were anywhere near the top 10, and yeah, just shows you the amateurs know how to race on Zwift. Also over the weekend we saw round 4 of the CVR World Cup take place. I was racing in it. Oh man, I was shit. I was rubbish. The winners of week 4 were Velocity. CyclingHub finished 2nd and Team Hive finished third. What I do love seeing is seeing that Velocity are racing on Zwift and the Tour of Watopia, and they're also racing on the CVR World Cup. It's great to see that crossover and more teams coming over from Zwift and racing CVR Arcade. Round 5 is going to take place next Saturday, 6 PM UK time. If you want to see me potentially get obliterated again, then make sure you watch it. And then finally back over to Zwift for the Mitchelton Scott Gravel Group Ride presented by Bike Exchange. Now obviously this weekend was supposed to be Strada Bianchi, but the majority of racing, pretty much the whole of racing over in Italy, has been cancelled for the foreseeable future. Mitchelton Scott decided to take this opportunity to jump on Zwift, organise a group ride so their fans could interact with their riders and ride alongside them. And for the first time ever, we saw Annemiek van Vleuten taken to Zwift. Shane Miller also streamed the ride, so if you want to go and check out the ride from his point of view, links down in the description there. You'll get an idea of just how many people took part. I think there was like over 1,200 people ended up taking part. Such a shrewd move between Zwift and Mitchelton Scott. So yeah, go down, check that out. Did you get involved in that ride? Leave your comments down below. How did you find that ride, riding with so many people and so many professionals in one space? Did you enjoy it? Was there too many people there? Tell me about it. Next up, now it might be 10 days since the UAE Tour got cancelled after 2 people had contracted coronavirus. However, there are still teams out there remaining on lockdown and in quarantine. Groupama FDJ, Cofidis, Gazprom Rusvelo, and also the UAE Team Emirates squads have all been on lockdown and all remained in quarantine for the past 10 days. And the authorities had told the teams that they were going to remain in quarantine until at least March 14th. However, thanks to no positive tests coming back from Groupama FDJ and Cofidis, they were allowed to leave their quarantine stay last night. And in celebration of that, Ramon Sinkeldam tweeted this out. Alright, that's enough of races that aren't going ahead, but what about the one race that has gone ahead this week? Under a little bit of controversy, a lot of the World Tour teams have pulled out of this race just based on health and safety issues, not only for fans but also the team, the riders, the staff as well. But Paris-Nice has gone ahead. Stage 1 got underway yesterday. Now, after groups of riders being here, there and everywhere, all over the road, it was a tough race to actually follow. It ultimately came down to a 4-man sprint between Max Schachmann, Dylan Teuns, Tiesj Benoot and Julian Alaphilippe, and it was Max Schachmann who took the victory. And Schachmann took the victory ahead of Teuns and Benoot in 3rd position. Alaphilippe was a further 3 seconds down, and he'd worked so hard during the stage that, hey, it's Alaphilippe. He had nothing left towards the end, but he gave it everything. But that wasn't the main talking point. The main talking point was this crash here with around 60k to go, which involved Warren Barguil. And it looked at one point like Barguil potentially might be pulling himself out of this race due to injury. However, the team talked him back onto the bike. He finished 14 minutes down, and then it was after the race that the commissaires decided to disqualify Barguil for drafting off of his team car. RKS Semsic have accepted it. They're not going to protest against the disqualification. Obviously, they clearly knew what they were doing. They were trying to get him back into the race. They were unsure whether he was going to continue or not, but I guess maybe they thought finishing 14 minutes down, he's not really part of GC. They might just turn a blind eye. French rider, French team, French race. And after all the bad press that the Paris-Nice has had for teams pulling out, maybe they'll just let it slide. But they didn't. They disqualified him, and I want to know in the comments down below, what do you think? Do you think they should have disqualified him? Are rules, or do you think you can bend the rules in the fact that, you know, he's been punished enough finishing 14 minutes down? He looks fairly injured, so he doesn't look like he's going to be playing much of a part in the rest of this Paris-Nice race. Let me know down below. Or do you think rules are rules, he broke the rules, he's disqualified? Leave those comments down below. And then finally, over the weekend, it was announced that the popular Hammer Series is to be scrapped amid Velon's bitter dispute with the UCI. In 2020, there is going to be no Hammer Series due to what Velon, the association of 11 World Tour teams that ran the events, perceive as a continued attack on the format by the UCI. Now, the UCI and Velon are already in a legal dispute via the European Commission. Velon have been accusing the UCI of attempting to stifle their initiatives and pretty much snuff out the Hammer Series. Now, for those of you who don't know, the Hammer Series was created in 2017, I think, and it's more of a team-based format. So there's a sprint day, there's a climbing day, and then it all concludes with a team time trial at the end. It's not been something that I've tuned in and watched, but I know a lot of people find it very popular and very entertaining. But it doesn't look like it's going to be happening in 2020. Do you think the UCI are trying to stifle out Velon and the Hammer Series? Do you think they're doing everything they can in their power to not allow other people to take a tiny bit more control in the organisation of events? Or do you think the UCI might even do a U-turn on this now with the lack of racing that we're going to see in 2020, and they've just snuffed out another one for a reason nothing to do with the rest of the events getting cancelled? Do you think they might U-turn on it and say, actually, yeah, we could do with some more racing out there, let's stick it back on? I don't know. You know what to do? Leave them bloody comments down below. And there you go, consider that your news for the day. Now, hopefully, if I've done my job right, you will not have noticed that this video has taken me about 4 hours to film. I was up so early this morning with the children, and it has been so hard. I'm not asking you to feel sorry for me, but it has been so hard to actually get words from here out of here. So please take one moment. If you've not done already, hit that subscription button, or hit that like button, or hit them both, I guess. If you've disliked the video for whatever reason, then just hit the dislike button, okay? Make sure you leave your comments on all the topics that we discussed. I'd love to hear them. I'm going to bed now. Thanks for watching. Oh, I'm not. I've got a live stream, haven't I? Catch me on the live stream. Links down in the description. Boosh!